So now let's implement the 5 levels of belief. If I'm going to start you again at day 1, before I call a single person with you, I'm going to get you feeling good about our relationship. So what I'll say there, I'll say, Orion, listen, will you do me a favor? Can we just try something together for the next week or 2? And of course, the answer would likely be, yeah, sure. So I'll get you to redo a list. I'll say, listen, let's do a new list of everybody you know in your life. I know you've called some of these people already, and I know that some of these people aren't going to be open to. We'll identify those people afterwards, but let's just start again and do this list. And we'll do it over a period of 3 or 4 days. But over that period of 3 or 4 days that we're doing the list, I'm going to be really focusing on getting to know you. I'm going to go right back to as if you're a prospect. I'm going to start to ask you about your family and your friends and just really create some common bonds between us so that we like each other.
And then I'll be excited about our friendship and that you can do this. Absolutely. And I can do it if you can do it.
And you're going to, you know what will be amazing is you'll start recruiting again. Because you're going to start calling some of your friends right away, and what are you going to do? You're going to tell them what just happened. You're not going to believe it. This Ken Dunn guy, he's made money in network marketing. I'm working right with him. He's teaching me how to do this. I'm so excited. And that same friend who said no to you a month later is going to go, can I meet this Ken Dunn guy? And now you're prospecting. But it's psychological maybe. You said let's get rid of all of that stuff, but really you're still doing it. There's just no pressure to it.
It's fantastic.
But you're not sitting there calling their list for them.
No.
Right, so we want to make that clear. There's one thing to say, okay, now believe in me, then now let me go call your list for you, and they're not. You're giving them a handout, not a hand up.
Yeah, you know, I'm very methodical in a lot of the things I do. When I'm prospecting somebody, personally, I will 3-way them into at least 10 different people before they sign up. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I 3-way them into people just to chat. They won't even be about the business. Because my goal is by the time they signed up, they have to realize how easy 3-way calling is. But if I go to you, Art, and I say, Art, you've got to do 3-way calling, well, you're not going to do it because it seems weird. But in the recruiting process, if you and I are on the phone and we're just chatting, and you talk to me as I'm prospecting you about this trip you've had to Norway one time, and I say, hey, Art, hold on for a second. And I call Orion, and I say, Orion, I've got this guy on the phone. He loves Norway. Can you talk to him for a minute? And I get back on the phone, and I say, hey, Art, I've got my buddy Orion on the phone. He's from Norway, and you guys just start chatting. I don't even say the word 3-way. That might feel a bit weird to you, but after a while you're going to go, cool. And then Ken does it again another couple days, but this time it's about one of the product experts. We do another 3-way. If I do that 10 or 12 times, by the time you join the business, then 3-way is going to seem natural. So now when you want to call that person, you get excited because now Ken's helping you. You're going to call them up right away, and these guys, can I talk to Ken? And the guy's naturally going to 3-way the guy into the call.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great point. You don't want to use verbiage like 3-way because people look at that and go, what is that? But you're creating a culture of connecting people quickly. So within 10 of those phone calls, the person feels like they're part of a family. And now this is second nature to them. Just quickly on a 3-way call, I know objections that happen to come up is, well, do I need to set a schedule with you, Ken, of when I can do a 3-ways? Or are you just in action? Well, let me call and see if this person's available. If that's not available, the next person.
Our culture in our company for stuff like this is that if the 3-way call is specifically about the business and it's a scenario where you're part of a process in your pipeline or your funnel, then that needs to be a scheduled call. It needs to be respectful because I need to get a chance to get ready, to be methodical, to make sure it's timed into my agenda. But if it's one of the many 3-way calls that I do, which is just relationship or community or social-based 3-way calls, then no, you can just call up a friend. Would you have a schedule just to call up a friend for a 3-way call or for any conversation?
Right.
But at the same time, there's no expectation. So if I'm doing that and I try both of you and I know I can't get you, well, I'm not expecting you to be there anyway. So I'm not going to be upset or hurt by it. But it's not about the business anyway, it's just friendship-based.
You made a great point the other day that you never ask for permission with a prospect to do the 3-way call.
Right. I never, ever, and I never do this either. I don't say, Orion, at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to do a 3-way call with you and Art Jonak. And Art Jonak is very busy, so I want to make sure you're going to be there. If you build a really strong friendship, if I build a strong friendship with you in the recruiting process, and I really, truly make you believe that I care about you, you're going to be there for the call anyway. Look at this. If you've ever called somebody up, and they haven't been there at the appointed time that you've wanted, there's a good chance that the reason they're not there is because you haven't built the friendship properly. So when I get you on the phone, I'm not going to bother to say, and prior to that, I'm not going to say that. What I'll say is, hey, Orion, listen, we've got a call. I want to schedule a call with you. When are you available tomorrow? You say 2 o'clock, and I'll say, okay, great. I know you're really busy, so I'm going to be right there at 2 o'clock to call you because I don't want to take any more of your time than's necessary. But I really look forward to talking to you tomorrow. I'm excited about talking to you again.
Because that previous example you gave, where they're really busy and it's good, that the sales radar is going off.
Oh,
the pressure's
no.
going off. Now you're like, who am I going to talk to? What are they going to try to make me do? Where you're making it totally about friendships. Hey, we're just connecting people. Let's all create friendships together. Let's create a culture of people that care for each other. And it's so natural.
And you gave a very good example of that when we were on a cruise, and that was like, we're sitting here talking over this table. If my wife is walking by, I wouldn't go say, hey, Art, Ken, could you just hold for a minute? I'm just going to check if my wife would like to come over here and have a few words with you. I would absolutely not do that.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So why should it be any different on the telephone?
Because it's friends.
You want to build a business, you got to create friendships. You got to create a whole culture of friendships. Always be connected.
The other thing I've noticed is that when we're on the phone, you've done this. You said, hold on, let me go talk to this person, let me talk to that person. And you're always in busy mode. That's an interesting cultural aspect. But the other part is if you didn't reach somebody, you don't go, oh, I couldn't reach them. Now what do I do? Right? It was just like, oh, I couldn't reach them. Okay, so now let's keep talking.
Right.
And I know that that's a fear. If I threw away somebody and they're not there, what do I do next? Just go with the flow.
And this is really amazing because a lot of people are teaching never put anybody on hold.
Oh my gosh, I mean, if you're building a friendship, does it really even matter? Friends don't care about being on hold. I mean, I've been on hold. Actually, I was on hold with you for 3 minutes a couple weeks ago. You were talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I mean, see, we get so bent out of shape about this stuff. If all you worry about is making friends every day, I mean, think about how easy, how less non-stressful non-intrusive that is. If I put you on hold for 2 minutes, does it really upset you or anything like that?
Absolutely not. I'll get somebody else on the line.
Okay, just hold on for a second. Just hold on for a second.
And Orion's got some cool music. When he puts you on hold, you hear this cool Norwegian music, and you're like, oh, this is cool.